We got Whitney in the corner. We got the music playing. Hi, BR. Thank you so much. I hope your day is going well also. Hi. Okay. Congratulations. You started your new position? How is Arizona? How is Arizona? Is it hot? Is it hot out there? That is awesome. That is like awesome news. I'm glad I decided to come on so you could give me some awesome news. That is so dope. I'm excited to see what you're writing in there. Like, how is it? It's hot, but it's really nice and chill. That's good. That is so good. That's beautiful. That is gorgeous. I'm happy for you. Are you near a pool? Or are you near, like, when it gets hot, you could just go and go dip? You'll get to go for a swim or something? Arizona does get so hot, but it is. I remember Vegas, being in Vegas, and it is really, there's a part of it like that's chill when you get to like the housing areas out of the hustle and the bustle. It's a very laid back type of environment. Ah, shit. I gotta put on Do Not Disturb. Come back to Las Vegas. You're so funny. I've been listening, following you since I was 21. Now I'm 25, finna be 26. And your lightness and beautiful, kind words have led me to a better person. I am so happy for you for that. OMG, that is beautiful. That is beautiful, BR. And I hope you become so connected to the universe and tap into your source energy and you become who you became to be, and it's the most beautiful transformation for you, BR. I hope that you're writing notes and journaling your journey because it's beautiful. And in the end of the 5 years, you're gonna be like, wow, I could turn this whole journey into a book, right? Like, that is beautiful. Benoit, my video chat deal, yes, I do, for the whole month of September. The whole month of September. Hi, Albert. Hi, Mr. Luckett. Thank you for this super chat, I guess that's what it's called. Thank you so much. Definitely journaling. You got me into that heavy for real. That is awesome. That is beautiful. I wrote like 4 pages last night and I got out some stuff that needed to come out. And journaling, writing is so beautiful. I just I just woke up from a nap and I'm just remembering my dream. And do you have a dream book for the dreamers out there? For the dreamers out there. Oh my gosh, I had a dream about bullying. Nobody better not be bullying. And it was older there was a group of young boys that was bullying another young boy. This is all a dream. And I'm standing in like the school. There was these other set of older men. There was these other set of older men that were playing like maybe basketball, playing a game or something. And on that side, now on this side, there was another group of boys, but they were younger, and they had these Burger King hats on, and but in the dream, that just makes me know like they're young kings. They're young kings. Like they have their crowns, but life is happening. Oh my gosh, it was so sad. Like I did it because they was just bullying the boy. And so I yelled to the other boy. I'm skipping apart the dream. My bad. I'm just so skipping apart. I'm just If you see something, say something. Don't be a wimp. Don't be a pussy ass bitch. And don't say nothing. I was standing there and I was telling the older men, like, yo, they're jumping the boy, they're getting like jumped. The older men were trying to get out of where they were at. But one of the boys that was jumping, the boys, they locked that door. They locked that door. They locked that door. So when I yelled to the older men to come and help the boys that were getting jumped, they they were trying to open the door and then they looked up, they realized the key was in it, it's locked, so now they have to I woke up, but they were opening the door to go help them. I called for the safety. That was such a messed up dream. Hi D, hi Showbiz. Hi everybody. I hope your Thursday is thankful. It's 4:04 p.m. exactly, 9/11. It's 9/11. A moment of silence. My handwriting when I just wake up to write these dreams down, the hands is not like ready to write yet. The nerves is still like, hi Jose. Um Waking up, this is so messy. I'm so surprised that I could even understand what this says. School these days is not no joke. I know these kids be homeschooling is the way. I swear it is. Homeschooling is the way because just thinking of that dream, maybe that's why Spirit had me come go on live real quick because I need to talk about this. I don't want to agree, but it's like, they say bullies are the kids that need the most love, like bullies are, but what's your thoughts on bullies? They need guidance. They need guidance. They need help. They need guidance. They need to be talked to. They need love. They don't know what love is. They don't know how to give love. That's why they go around fucking up other people's days and attitudes because they don't know what the fuck love looks like. So they go around being a bully. It's like the fuck, you know. And then, in the dream, it's like all those grown men playing. The grown men out there just playing around. The fuck are you just playing around for? There's little boys out here that needs guidance, that needs help, that needs guidance. And you older men are just over there in the other room playing games while the young men are out here, they need like guidance and they need help, you know But then me as the woman standing there seeing all of this go down, am I going to say something? Yes, I have to say something. That's why in the dream I was calling out like, yo, go help them. Like, because I'm not going to start. I don't care if listen. Mm-mm, no. But such a crazy dream, bro. I swear. Just if you see something, say something. Now I'm seeing that sign. They posted it up in New York everywhere. Like, if you see a suspicious bag, say something. If you see something, say something. You know what I'm saying? I was in a crazy situation one day, one time in my life. I'll talk about it one day. But like I was arguing with the guy, and the people just walked by and they just looked at me like, I want to help you, but and if you see something, say something, bro. Like, or go get help for that person. You know what I mean? Like, go get help for that person because you never know what you just opening your mouth could do, or you just saying like, yo, I just saw something, you want to walk with me, like you can help me, like, or go get somebody else, like if you don't feel you can, you never know how you could help somebody, you know like in the dream I couldn't help those boys. It was like 8 fucking 9 boys in there. I'm not going just me. I don't care if I'm Clarissa Shields and I know how to fight. Like, I don't know what weapons they have. You need to go call for backup, right? Go call for help. That was crazy. Somebody's going to see somebody that they haven't seen in a really long time. I had another dream and I saw my cousin that I haven't seen in a really, really long time. That coming to think about it, I saw my other two cousins I haven't seen in a really long time the other day. And someone's going to see somebody that they haven't seen in a really long time. Because you know me, I don't get up here and talk about my dreams like that with y'all. That's my special place. If I'm talking about it, it's because Source wants me to, and there's a message here for you. Oh shit, I still didn't put on Do Not Disturb. Fuck. All right, there we go. There you go. As I'm rolling up my smoke, what's playing is called Marlboro Man. Shout out to Jadina. I was listening to her this morning and she mentioned to write a feel good list. And on my feel good list, so yes, I took it. And you know what? I want all of you guys, 25 people, 25 people are in here. Holy shit. Well, 25 of y'all should do that today. I want y'all to do that. Write a feel good list. So whenever you're feeling in a rut, whenever you're feeling some type of way, you can look at the list and pick something to do from that list. And guess what? Going on camera is on that list. I like the camera. Although I'm ready for a cameraman. I'm so ready for my cameraman. This one woman show type of deal is it gets to you sometimes. This is when you need your feel good list. Yo. Respect, respect, respect. Welcome to Jamrock. Let's face it, the ghetto. Let's face it. The thugs them will do what they got to, and they won't think twice to shot you. And it's different. It's very different being a thugger, being a gangster, and being a bully. You see, in my world, the gangsters are gentlemen. The gangsters, are respectable. They respect the women and the children. I'm talking about the old school gangsters in the suits, right? They with the suits. That's not bullies. Bullies is pussy ass bitches. There's a difference. Okay? Fucking difference. So, Oh yeah. My daughter reminded me yesterday that before my name was Magical Misha, my name was Mish Smiles, and that I'm always supposed to smile. I love my daughter so much. She is such a beautiful soul. Like, she is truly a magical person. Like, of course, she'll be magical. I gave birth to her and everything, but the words that she uses, the way she speaks, she's so intelligent, she's so smart. She just, she is truly an asset to anyone's life, and like she said the most beautiful things to me. And thank you guys for even being here and listening. But like she said, Mom, remember before your name was Magical Misha, it was Mish Smiles. Keep smiling. You gotta be smile, baby. You got a lot to be smiling for. So what the fuck you be frowning for? If you're breathing, you're achieving. Okay, I need to listen to that song. I need to listen to that song. Looks like you're working. I'm working on this spliff I'm building. You feel me? Looks like I'm working on this spliff. I'm rolling up. Man, in a world where, we are to be trusting our feelings and trusting our instincts, but this society has just taught us to trust our logic and our brain. And it's it's very, thank God for guidance. Thank God for our God power, our source energy in us, guiding us, always keeping us aligned. Because, whoo, child, life out here in these streets. Every time I see this, when I'm looking at this, looks like you're working. Um, I hear this song. Seems like you're ready. For some people will get offended that I'm singing R. Kelly, but usually I don't do this. But now I'm not trying to be rude, but you the way you do the things do, like me on the background. Must be a football coach. The way you got me playing the field. So give me that two. Let me get that beep. Running our hands through my froze. Doing all 24s. It's the remix to Ignition. Hot and fresh out the kitchen. Mama rolling that body. Got every man in it wishing. Been on coke and rum. I'm like sober, but I'm drunk. It's the freaking weekend. Maybe I'm about to have me some fun. Crystal popping in an alligator. Now, usually I don't do this, but okay. Should I leave y'all real quick and go downstairs and get me a glass of wine? Or should I like exit out? X you out? We could leave the music playing. Keeping it real. That is like a nice name. Just a reminder. You better keep it real out here. Keep it real, people. Keep it real, people. There is a the hidden language of trees and how forests secretly communicate. Wow. I know the trees talk, but I've never seen that video. Just really it's really cool, you know. There is a song by R. Kelly and Rihanna called Broken, a new song from jail. Is this real or is it like an AI? I think it's AI. Step in the name of love. See, I know this tonight. Somewhere, I'm sure. One thing's for sure. I'm gonna put on my dancing shoes and go out and step the whole way through. Hi, North Carolina. Hello, from Georgia. Step in the name of love. See, I know it's the Ethiopian New Year. Happy New Year! Wow, that's cool. Enkukatash is a public holiday and coincidence of New Year in Ethiopia and Eritrea. Enkutatash. I gotta tell Tosh that. Isn't it so cool that Ethiopia is both 2017 and 2025 at the same time? Go out and step the whole way through. And Kukatash is important because it celebrates the Ethiopian New Year, marking the end of a rainy season with a time of renewal and hope, and is a significant cultural event for both Ethiopians in the country and the diaspora to connect with their heritage. It is rooted in the historical return of the Queen of Sheba. That is beautiful. So, you know what that means? It's the end of a rainy season. Yes, a time of renewal and hope. Ugh, doesn't that feel good to know that? And that shit feels good for me to know that. Okay? Rainy season is over. Give thanks and praises to the Most High. Jah Rastafari, I. Rastafari, I. Give thanks and praises. Yes. I'm gonna go get a glass of wine. I promise I won't be too long. I promise you. I promise you I won't take forever. I'm gonna leave you here though, because if I turn you off, I might not return, and I want to return, mate. Do you hear what I'm saying out there? Every day you wake up, I want you to wake up and flex on these hoes. Shout out to IMDb. She said that in a concert. She's like, every day you wake up and you flex on these hoes. Okay? Mrs. When we talk like that. A little bit of everything. Oh. When you say the things you say, I know. Devon, I'm doing great. How you doing? I've come so far, and in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to lose it all. And in the end, it doesn't even matter. I put my trust in you as far as I can go. WWF. What is World Wrestling Federation? You was watching wrestling? You know they used to call me the Big Show in school. They used to call me the Undertaker because I was a big girl. I was giantess for real, for real. I really was. Isn't that something? Undertaker was supernatural and your favorite. That's funny. That's interesting you say that, and that's what they used to call me. That's so interesting. I am supernatural. My cousin was such a twit. I'll be walking and he'll be like, "Here comes the big show." Like, life is so funny. I swear the memories. Memories don't look like people do. They'll always remember you. I wonder, how do you do that? Because people be doing that. People just, they pause it. No, Benzie. The fuck? No, I'm not taking off my socks because I don't want to. I be telling you. You don't listen. Y'all know where to find the feeds. Y'all know where to find the feeds. Don't let me block you from my chat. Oh man. I'm thinking, what am I gonna eat for dinner? And do I really want the wine? That's why I haven't moved yet. I really do want it. I think so. This is such a nice view. If you have nature in any window, it's like the perfect frame. It's the perfect view. It's the perfect everything. Perfect everything. How about let's just get some Icelandic water? I don't want to leave you guys like just sitting here. You know, it feels weird. Feels so weird, you know? So weird. But yeah. Should I? I don't know. Did everybody say hi to Whitney? Did everybody say hi to Whitney? Let me get back. Hi, Yusuf. Benzie. Get the fuck out of here, Benzie. It's Whitney on the floor. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Benzie, oh, you want to get blocked. Oh, I see. I see, Benzie. So I sped off in the Benzie. I see the envy when they call it a frenzy. Perfect. And they have a timeout button. Ah, isn't YouTube perfect? I think so. I think so. I think YouTube is perfect. I swear this makes me feel like I'm in like a jazz lounge, you know? Like, Kane. I don't remember Kane. Which one is Kane again? I would have to look up Kane. I think I see his face in my head. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's the Ethiopian New Year today. That is beautiful. Don't forget, guys, make sure you write your feel good list. Writing my feel good list got me here today. Isn't that wonderful? Oh, now I remember Kane. Yes. I never was scared of any of the wrestlers. I was always just mad that they called me the wrestler names, but I always knew it was fake. Like this fake shit. It's just that one time my brother told me it really is fake. You know, it really is fake though, right? Like all the moves, everything is fake. I'm like, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it was fake. I knew it was fake. I wonder. Oh, okay, that's how you see. Okay, I see. This artist is called Dust Diggers. I just have to say that because, like, who comes up with that name? Dust Diggers. Dusk. Dust Diggers. So funny to me. Hilarious. So, yes, if you see something, say something, please. Don't see something bad happening and then you don't say anything, okay? Just make sure if you see something, say something. And if you don't think you can help, go call somebody that can help, okay? Thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being here. Oh, and yes, somebody's going to see somebody that you haven't seen in a long time. One, two, three, four. Seems like you're ready. Why is that song in my mind? I don't know why, but the song is there. Seems like you're ready. As a scientist, there's so much I need to listen to. Quantum jumping is not a metaphor, it's a process. Isn't it so interesting when you think about it? Like destiny aligned me to be here. Destiny aligned us to be here. Everywhere you are, destiny aligned you to be there. You aligned yourself to be there. Isn't that something to think about? When you really let that sink in, we will focus differently. We will focus on ourselves differently, and what we focus on will drastically change once we let that sink in. Hmm. Let's listen to some tarot tea. That's what I should call it. Tarot tea. Spiritual meditation speaks to the soul frequently. Spiritual meditation speaks to the soul all the time. Yes. Your blank is way too big. A banned song from the 1940s. What is this? Yo, that is funny. Your blank is way too big. What's getting me though, it says it's from the 1940s, a banned song from the 1940s. I mean, ain't nothing new, right? Rumi, surrender to the fire. Oh, awaken the Buddha within. Awaken the God within. Awaken the source energy within. Awaken your Buddha within. There is a kind of love that does not whisper or wait. It does not introduce itself gently. It arrives like a flame falling from nowhere, sudden, undeniable, absolute. It burns through every structure you've built, every certainty you've clung to, every idea of who you thought you were. This is not the love that polishes poetry. This is the love that creates it. Rumi did not write about love to decorate life. He wrote because love was life. It was the raw energy in his veins, the breath beneath his words, the very reason his poetry still breathes 8 centuries later. He said that through love, bitter things become sweet and copper turns to gold. But he was not theorizing. He was speaking from the alchemy that happened inside his own soul. Love, fierce, divine, unrelenting, melted the boundaries of his identity and forged something eternal in its place. Before there were verses, there was fire, and before the fire, there was shams. In 1244, in the city of Ka, a wandering mystic appeared. No credentials, no wealth, just a presence, so wild and luminous it shattered the world of a scholar. Shams of Trez. He did not arrive to teach Rumi in the traditional sense, he arrived to break him open. Their first conversation, according to the legend, began with a question so blasphemous it cracked the ceiling of safe belief. Who was greater, the Prophet Muhammad or Bayezid Bistami? It wasn't the answer that mattered, it was the shockwave. The question pierced the scholar and awakened the seeker. What happened between them was not meant. He knew love is not for the container, it's for the treasure inside. Hmm. I'm going off. Did you guys set your alarms? When he looked at Shams, he did not see a man, he saw light through flesh. He said, the moment I heard my first love story, I began searching for you, not knowing how blind that was. Lovers don't meet somewhere, they're in each other all along. Oh, oh, I felt that. I felt that so deep. Like, oh, lovers don't meet somewhere, they're in each other all along. But this love wasn't personal, not really. Shams was a mirror, and in that mirror, Rumi saw the divine, not as theory, as presence. The beloved he had only studied in books now looked back at him through human eyes. Shams was scripture made flesh, and when he vanished, some say murdered, others say ascended. Rumi did not simply grieve a friend, he turned grief into gold. He wrote, "Don't grieve. Anything you lose comes round in another form." He understood. The true beloved had never left. What he had seen in Shams was only a reflection of what had always lived inside his own soul. That is what transformed him. That is what gave his words their pulse. He did not write of love as possession or desire. He wrote of love as annihilation. "This is love," he said. "To fly toward a secret sky, to cause 100 veils to fall each moment. First to let go of life, finally to take a step without feet." To Rumi, love was a fire that consumes everything that is false, not in despair, but so that only truth remains. Love was a fire that consumes everything that is false, so that only truth remains. Oh my God, that is so powerful. Rumi did not romanticize love as something safe or soft. To him, real love was not something that added to your life, it was something that dismantled it. He did not seek comfort in love, he sought obliteration. He told his students, "Die before you die." And he meant it literally. The ego must dissolve, the false self must be pierced. Only through that breaking can the soul remember where it came from. He spoke of longing not as sorrow, but as sacred tension, a divine homesickness, pulling the soul towards something it once knew and lost. This is why his poetry aches, why it trembles. He wrote, "The wound The wound is the place where the light enters you." Oh, the wound is the place where the light enters you. That pain, that void is not evidence of absence. It is proof of the presence that is too vast for form. This is the paradox that pulses through every one of the verses. Even in absence, there is union. Even in loss, there is arrival. The longing itself is not a barrier, it's the doorway. The ache is not an interruption, it's the call. He saw no separation between the spiritual and the physical, between the inner world and the outer. He spoke in images because images carried what logic could not. The moth drawn to the flame, the nightingale crying for the rose, the ocean calling back the drop. These were not metaphors for earthly love. These were symbols for the soul's journey into God. Every kind of love, romantic, platonic, ecstatic, grief filled, was to a reflection of the same source. I searched for God and found only myself. I searched for myself and found only God. For him, every feeling, every encounter, every heartbreak was a message from the beloved, a secret whisper sent to draw us back. He told us clearly, what you seek is seeking you. What you seek is seeking you. The fact that we long is not a sign that we're lacking. It's a sign that we're near. The ache is the knock. The emptiness is the invitation. And love, real love, does not come to add. It comes to take away, to burn what is false, to leave only what is eternal. Most beautiful thing I've ever read. The fact that we long is not a sign that we're lacking, it's a sign that we're near. The ache is the knock, the emptiness is the invitation. And love, real love, does not come to add, it comes to take away, to burn what is false, to leave only what is eternal. Shams was never the destination. He was the mirror that revealed the face Rumi had been seeking all along. And in that face, he saw not a man, not a mentor, but the very presence of the beloved, uncontained, nameless, infinite. The divine didn't thunder down from a distant sky. It looked back through human eyes, and once saw it. And once saw it, he could not unsee it. His entire life split open around the gaze, but he did not cling to Shams as a person. That would have been too small. He saw through him. He understood that love is not for the form, it is for what the form reveals. Just as the moon reflects the sun's light, but is not the sun. Shams was the surface onto which the infinite projected itself. When Shams disappeared, whether murdered by a jealous heart or swallowed into mystery, Rumi did not collapse. He turned inward. The flame was no longer across from him, it was within. And that realization became the turning point, not just of his grief, but of his life. He wrote, "Don't grieve. Anything you lose comes round in another form." That wasn't consolation, it was truth. The true beloved never leaves because it was never outside of you to begin with. What you saw in another was a reflection of the light already flickering in your own depths. This is what Rumi gave Rumi's poetry, its endless resonance. Not its form, not even its beauty, but its truth. He did not speak of love as desire or satisfaction. He spoke of love as extinction. To love is to vanish, to dissolve, to be undone with life as short as a half taken breath. He wrote, "Don't plant anything but love because everything else, the fairs, the names, the certainties, are dust." Don't plant anything but love because everything else is dust. What survives is the connection. What endures is the surrender. What burns is the illusion. And what rises from the ashes is God longing to Rumi. Longing to Rumi was not weakness. It was holy ache, a sacred pulse pulling the soul towards its origin. He did not try to escape the ache. He leaned into it. He listened to it because in its quiet pain lived a deeper truth. The ache is not a sign of something missing. It is the echo of something eternal calling you back. He wrote, "There is a candle in your heart ready to be kindled. Oh, there is a void in your soul ready to be filled." That candle, that void, they are not mistakes, they are evidence. They are the fingerprints of the beloved on the inner walls of your being. The very fact that you feel emptiness means that there is something real beyond the emptiness. Rumi did not just describe this ache in abstract terms, he gave it shape. He made it sing. He painted it as the lover waiting at the threshold, the drunk staggering under the moonlight, the moth circling the flame it cannot resist. These aren't metaphors for worldly obsession, they are spiritual blueprints, archetypes of the soul's journey toward reunion. And in that journey, nothing is wasted. Even the ache is sacred. Even the absence is presence. The wound, is the place where the light enters you because it is precisely where we break that we become open. It is where the false shatters that truth slips in. It is where the false shatters that truth slips in. This is why Rumi never asks us to run from pain. He asks us to let it burn, to let it break us open, to trust that the very longing which feels unbearable is in fact the doorway, that our sorrow is not in the way. It is the way. He didn't speak of union as something to be earned or bought or even fully understood. He spoke of it as something already within, waiting to be remembered, waiting for the veils to fall, waiting for the ego to dissolve, waiting for the heart to open wide enough to receive what was never gone. Rumi did not offer God as a theory. He didn't speak of the divine as an idea to be debated or a figure to be feared. He spoke of the beloved not as distant, but as breath, not as being above, but as a current moving through everything. He wrote of a nearness so total it becomes invisible. I am so close. He wrote, I may look distant, so completely mixed with you. I may appear separate. This was the paradox he returned to again and again. The more present the beloved becomes, the more our limited selves feel their own absence. The more love surrounds us, the more unbearable our distance feels. But this is not a flaw. This is the design. It is love that hurts because it is real, and that hurt is holy. Rumi's spiritual path was not built on certainty, it was built on surrender, on the willingness to let go of the illusion that we are in control. Rumi's spiritual path was built on surrender, on the willingness to let go of illusion that we are in control. He did not teach us to seek God in rules or rituals alone, though he honored them. He taught us to find the divine in the quiet places, the unexpected places, the cracks in our defenses. There is a voice that doesn't use words. Listen to him. Longing was not a problem to solve, it was a sacred compass. Not from detachment, but from burning, from dizziness, from the very near center of spiritual intoxication. I am yours, he cried. Don't give myself back to me. This wasn't a metaphor. This was lived reality. The ego shattered by the nearness of the infinite. He spoke often of the soul as as a reed flute cut from its source, crying out in song for the riverbank it once knew. And that sound, that ache, is not despair. It is the beginning of awakening. We cry because we remember. We long because we once belonged. We long because we once belonged. And that longing is not the opposite of union, it is the first language. The beloved is not somewhere else. Rumi tells us the beloved is within your very breath, behind your every sorrow, beneath your silence, hidden in your hunger. The work is not to go out and find love, it is to clear the path for it. Mm. The work is not to go out and find love, it is to clear the path for it. Your task is not to seek for love, he says, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. Let me read that again. Your task is not to seek for love, he says, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. Those barriers are not evil. They are fear, pride, shame, attachment, the crust of the false self that is hardened around the soul. And he doesn't tell us to break them with violence. He invites us to melt. Be like the melting snow, he says. Wash yourself of yourself. It is not destruction he offers, it is release. It is soft inward fire, the kind that purifies rather than punishes, the kind that removes everything that is not truly you until only the light remains. This is not poetry as decoration, this is poetry as alchemy, as spiritual practice, as a direct experience of the divine. Rumi wrote from inside the transformation. He didn't write about the fire, he was the fire. And the words he left are not meant to be admired, they are meant to burn you open. Love was never the end goal, it was the road itself. Not something to arrive at after a lifetime of seeking, but something already present in the steps, in the ache, in the questions. The destination was never far off, it was always within, calling softly through longing, through silence, through mystery. Why do you stay in prison? He asks when the door is so wide open. This path of love isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you've always been. It's not about accumulation, but peeling away, removing the layers of expectation, identity, and control until what remains is simple, raw, holy presence. He didn't ask us to become saints. He asked us to become real. And realness for Rumi was found not in perfection, but in vulnerability, in being undone before the beloved and allowing that unraveling to become prayer. This is why he used metaphors not as decorations, but as maps. The nightingale weeping for the rose, the wave crashing back into the ocean, the lovers spinning in circles until thought disappears. These weren't poetic devices. They were expressions of the soul's spiral back to source. He wasn't describing romantic love, he was translating the human heart's hunger for God. He tells us that even the most ordinary experiences can become divine signals. The absence of a friend, the shiver of silence in an empty room, the moment you catch your breath and feel something larger moving inside your chest. These are not empty moments, they are messages. What you seek is seeking you. That longing you feel is not weakness, it is God knocking softly from the inside. In Rumi's universe, we are not waiting to be loved. We are learning to recognize the love that is already surrounding us, pulsing through us. The entire spiritual path, he says, is not about chasing something external, but about clearing the way within. And what blocks that love? Not fate, not sin, not distance, but the walls we build. Ego, fear, doubt, shame, the beliefs that whisper, you are not enough, you're too broken, you're too late. But Rumi doesn't shame us for our walls. He invites us to gently soften them. He does not command us to change with force. He asks us to melt slowly, faithfully, to trust that the soul knows its way back. If we would only stop clutching so tightly to what we think we are. In love, he wrote, there is no room for control, no room for certainty. The only The one who truly loves becomes dust, and in that dust becomes eternal. That's the paradox he lived in. By surrendering the self, you find the self. By losing everything, you gain what is indestructible. Love to him was not a transaction or a prize, it was a return, not to someone else, but to your own essence. You are not walking toward the beloved, you are walking as the beloved. Learning to remember what you never truly forgot. There is a place beyond names, beyond roles, beyond right and wrong. Rumi called it the field, not a field of grass or soil, but a state of being where all the masks fall, where all the rules unravel, where only presence remains. Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, he wrote, there is a field. I'll meet you there. This is not a metaphor, it is instruction. It is a map and invitation all at once. The field is not somewhere you reach with effort, it is somewhere you arrive by surrender. You cannot think your way into it, you can only fall. And Rumi's entire body of work is a soft, persistent push into that falling, into forgetting what divides us and remembering what holds us. This field is the space where the ego quiets and the heart starts to speak. It is the moment in a breath where you stop reaching for understanding and instead feel something deeper move through you. That stillness between thoughts, that shiver when music touches you without reason, that is the field and it's already within you. But to enter it, Rumi warns, we must let go of the things we hold most tightly, the ideas we defend, the self image we polish, the judgments we cling to like armor. The soul doesn't bloom in the soil of certainty, it blossoms in bewilderment. Sell your cleverness, he says, and buy bewilderment. Hmm. Cleverness is defense. Bewilderment is surrender. It is the wide eyed state of a soul waking up in the dark and realizing it was never alone. And this is what makes Rumi's mysticism so powerful. It is not abstract, it is bodily. It moves through image, breath, silence, ache. He doesn't tell you what God is, he tells you what it feels like when God touches your ribs from the inside. That moment when you fall apart and it feels like falling into truth. That's the field in this space. Pain is not something to avoid, it becomes sacred. Sorrow is not a flaw, it is a signal. The reed cries because it remembers the riverbank. We cry because our souls remember the field. We cry because our souls remember the field. We cry because our souls remember the field. And every tear, every longing, every restless moment is not failure. It is the field calling you home. Rumi doesn't want you to fix your life, he wants you to soften into it. To trust that the breaking open is not destruction. It's the doorway to realize that even your confusion, even your doubt, even your grief, all of it can be holy if it leads you closer to the field. The wound is the place where the light enters you, he reminds us in that. He reminds us in that field, even your pain is not separate from the divine. It is the divine wearing the face of absence, whispering, remember. Rumi did not preach silence from a mountaintop. He spun through city streets, arms outstretched, robed, robe flaring like wind and cloth, not performing but dissolving. His dance was not spectacle, it was surrender. The whirling of the dervish was never about performance, it was about unraveling, about becoming so empty that only the beloved remains. The dance began not as a ritual, but as instinct. One day, hearing the rhythmic hammer of goldsmith tools, something struck like thunder through bone. He stepped into that rhythm. He spun, and the world spun with him. That was not a metaphor, it was transmission. A soul so full of God that it could no longer stand still. The dervish lifts one hand to the sky, the other to the earth. One receives, the other gives. And in the spinning, slow, deliberate, endless, the self disappears. The ego cannot survive in that turning. There is no center anymore except the beloved. The body becomes a prayer in motion. The feet kiss the ground over and over, and the heart, that trembling compass, aligns. This is not the mysticism of escape. This is the mysticism of embodiment, of becoming so inwardly still that movement itself becomes worship, of feeling that every cell in your being is a doorway and spinning is the way you open it. Every gesture, every pause, every ache was part of his devotion. He didn't claim truth, he danced with it. He didn't define the beloved, he dissolved into him. He taught not by lecture, but by transformation. He became a living answer to the hunger that burns in every seeking soul. His whirling was only one form. Love was his true practice. He wrote poems in motion, dictated verses while walking, while weeping, while burning. His students could hardly write fast enough. His wisdom did not arrive through silence, it arrived through fire, through madness, through surrender. Try to be a sheet of paper with nothing on it, he once wrote. Be a spot of ground where nothing is growing, where something might be planted. And that something was always God. This is why the dervish turns not to forget the world, but to pierce it, not to ascend beyond life, but to spiral inward until only light remains. The spinning is not chaos, it is order, not confusion, but clarity, a clarity beyond thought, a clarity that comes only when the self is gone. To whirl is to say, I am not the center, I am what moves around the center. And the center, that still, radiant, eternal center, is love. Always love. Rumi didn't just speak of fire, he walked through it. He studied, he didn't study transformation from afar. He burned, he shattered, he let himself be undone again and again, only until only truth remained. For him, suffering wasn't an obstacle, it was a furnace, a sacred space where everything false is scorched away, leaving only gold behind. He once wrote, the cure for the pain is in the pain. The cure for the pain is in the pain. That this was not a comforting metaphor. It was a spiritual law. He believed the path to God was not outside of pain, but through the center of it. Because what we call pain is often the moment the soul is closest to awakening. The moment the ego finally softens, the moment something ancient in us remembers where we came from. And so he did not ask his students to avoid discomfort. He asked them to welcome it, to bow to it, to see it not as punishment, but as purification. If you are irritated by every rub, he said, how will your mirror be polished? The rubbing, the grief, the loneliness, the ache of love unfulfilled is the working and the polishing. That is the soul learning to reflect the beloved. This fire, this ache, this friction is not meant to destroy you. It is meant to reveal you, to strip away what you are not, to burn the mask, to return you to your essence. And that essence, Rumi knew was divine. He called this practice of burning not endurance, but love. Because what greater act of love is there than to be remade by longing? To let yourself be unmade in the arms of the invisible, trusting that what is taken will be returned as something more real. This is why Shams was so important. Shams did not comfort Rumi. He set him on fire. He became the mirror that revealed what lay beneath the scholar, beneath the teacher, beneath the man. And when Shams vanished, perhaps murdered or ascended, Rumi did not collapse. He transformed. He poured his grief into a verse. He alchemized loss into wisdom. Don't grieve. Remember, anything you lose comes round in another form. Trust that what is taken will be returned as something more real. That is the fire Rumi offers us. Not the fire of destruction, but the fire of transmutation. And in that fire, we don't just find pain, we find purpose. We find the beloved reaching out through the flame. Rumi did not believe God lived only in temples or scriptures. For him, that the divine was not found in separation. The divine shimmered in everything, not above but within, not distant but intimately near. He saw the sacred not just in prayer but in breath, not only in ritual but in the rhythm of life itself. The marketplace, the kitchen, a stranger's glance, all could become gateways to God. He taught that the beloved hides in plain sight, in the cup of tea, in the aching silence after a conversation, in the way the wind bends, the trees, or the light hits the floor. To Rumi, there was no mundane. There was only the veil of perception. And once lifted, the whole world became holy. Don't turn away. Keep looking at the bandaged place. That's where the light enters you. Even wounds, especially wounds, could become altars. Even sorrow could be scripture. Because for Rumi, nothing was wasted. Every moment, every emotion, every encounter was part of a cosmic language. The divine didn't only speak in revelation, it whispered in the everyday. He didn't just say, seek source, seek God, seek the divine. He said, what you seek is seeking you. That means the very impulse to search, to long, to ache is not yours alone. It's the beloved stirring inside of you, reaching for you as you reach for it. That moment you feel lost, that's the invitation. The instant you pause and wonder, that's the arrival. In his world, absence is not the absence of God, it is God, knocking through mystery. This is why Rumi's poetry is filled with symbols from ordinary life: dust, bread, wine, reed, garden, flame. He never tried to escape the world to find holiness. He dove into it. And in doing so, he shattered the illusion that God is elsewhere. He revealed that here, this breath, this silence, this ache is the doorway. The universe is not outside of you. Look inside yourself. Everything you want, you already are. This is not a metaphor. This is the core of his mystical vision. You are not a vessel waiting to be filled. You are the spring itself, the ocean in a drop, the flame already lit. For Rumi, spirituality was not separation, it was saturation, becoming so present, so surrendered that you see the beloved's fingerprints on everything, on joy and grief, on laughter and pain, on loss and reunion. This is what makes his mysticism so radical. He refuses to separate God from life, and so the task is not to climb higher. The task is to sink deeper, to pay attention, to allow the ordinary to reveal its hidden face, to walk through the world not as a seeker of signs, but as one who knows. Every moment is a message. Every breath is the beloved speaking. Rumi never claimed to be the beloved. He said he was only the house in which the beloved lived. This wasn't humility, it was spiritual clarity. Isn't it nice how he calls the beloved, how he calls Source, God, beloved, like that? I think that's so cute. He didn't fall in love with the mirror, but with what the mirror reflected. And in that reflection, he recognized something older than memory, deeper than identity, his own face before he was born. This is the heart of mysticism. We are not separate, not from the divine, not from each other. The divine is not out there hiding in the clouds or beyond some future. The divine is here behind your eyes, inside your chest, disguised as your own longing, he wrote. Lovers don't finally meet somewhere, they're in each other all along. What he's pointing to is not romance, it is oneness. You were never looking for God in another person. You were looking for the divine that your soul already carries. And the people we love deeply, those who awaken something sacred in us, are not saviors, they are reminders, they are mirrors. That's why spoke of Shams not as a guru or even as a teacher, but as a spark, a match to the candle he was already carrying. Their meaning was not a transfer of knowledge, it was a collision, a breaking open, a sacred fire that reduced all intellect to ash and revealed the gold that lay hidden beneath a lifetime of learning. I started looking for you, not knowing how blind that was. Lovers don't finally meet somewhere, they're in each other all along. This is not sentimental, sentimentality, sentimentality. It's just, I've never seen it like this. It's so weird. Sentimentality. Got it. Got it. It is a cosmic axiom. It means that what you're seeking has always been within you. You are not chasing something that doesn't exist. You are remembering something that never stopped existing. And so love becomes not possession, not fulfillment, not even desire. Love becomes revelation, a burning away of illusion, a mirror that shows you not who the other is, but who you really are when all the stories fall away. Hmm. You were never broken, only covered, only asleep, and the path was not towards something new, but back to what was always was. Hero, you are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. And this is not poetic exaggeration, it is metaphysical truth. The soul in his vision is not a fragment of God, it is God remembering itself. And everything that seems like distance is illusion. Separation is a mask. Identity, belief, even longing itself are all veils. And beneath every veil, there is only oneness. This is why Rumi's mysticism feels so intimate. He's not pointing at the stars, he's pointing at your breath. He doesn't ask you to believe, he asks you to listen. Because within you is the rhythm of the divine. The same rhythm that turns galaxies also turns your heartbeat. And once you hear it, really hear it, you will know it. There was never a wall between you and the beloved, only at the idea of one. I searched for God and only found myself. I searched for myself and found only God. That is the paradox of the mystic. The deeper in you go, the more you dissolve, and what remains isn't you, it's everything. The soul isn't an object within the body. The body is a brief shadow within the soul. This is why longing to Rumi was not emptiness, it is evidence. It is how the ocean calls the drop back home. The ache that lives in your chest is not weakness, it's memory. It's the echo of that place before time, before form, where we were not selves, but light. And even now that the ache pulls you not forward but inward, so the work is not to become spiritual. The work is to peel back everything that isn't, to drop the mask, to let go of the armor, to melt. The work is to peel back everything that isn't, to drop the mask, to let go of the armor, to melt like melting snow. Remember, Rumi says, wash yourself of yourself. Because the you think you are is the veil. And the real you, the one that burns, that ache, that waits in silence, is the part that remembers the sea. This remembering is not passive, it is fire, it is surrender. It is the courage to say, I will not be defined by my name, my story, or my fear. I am what existed before language. I am what watches even my thoughts. I am the ocean that once believed it was a wave. And so when Rumi tells you to fall in love, he doesn't mean with another, he means with the truth, the one inside your rib cage, the one behind your eyes, the one that says you have never been separate. You are what you've been seeking. You are the door. You are the one knocking. You are the one who answers. Well, thank you guys for so much for sitting here and listening to Rumi. I guess Rumi said this is Thursday's thoughts. It's Thursday. Thursday's thoughts is Rumi. Perfect, isn't it? After all the poems, the metaphors, the weeping verses of longing, what remained was not more language, but the stillness behind it. Because to him, silence was not the absence of sound, it was the presence of something too vast, too sacred to be held in the syllables. There is a voice that doesn't use words. Listen, that voice is it's the divine. For all his eloquence, Rumi never confused poetry with the truth itself. He used words as windows, as ropes lowered into the soul. But he knew that beyond a certain point, even the most beautiful language must be let go, not because it has failed, but because it has fulfilled its purpose. The poem is the finger, the silence is the moon. He said, when the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. That fullness, that unbearable, unspeakable fullness is not just peace, it's presence. It's the final remembering, the moment when all seeking ends, not in answers, but in dissolution. When the drop dissolves into the sea and realizes it was never apart. To reach that silence, Rumi didn't retreat from life, he moved through it, burning away the veils until only truth remained. He danced, whirled, wept, prayed, taught, but in the center of it all, he listened. And what he heard was not sound, it was the divine pulse beneath everything. It was the stillness inside motion, the flame inside the reed. Silence to him wasn't emptiness, it was completion. It was the point where the ego falls away and the soul becomes so transparent that God moves through it with obstruction. He wasn't silent because he had nothing left to say. He was silent because nothing more needed to be said. In that silence, prayer happens without words, love without lovers, union without form. It is the kind of silence that doesn't make the world disappear, it makes it sacred. Suddenly, the rustling leaves are a scripture. The exhale of breath is a temple bell. The glance of a child, the grief of parting, the moment of awe, all become liturgy. This is the silence room. This is the silence Rumi invites us into. Not a silence of avoidance, but of arrival. He said, don't speak so you can be heard. Speak so you can be. And then stop speaking. Don't speak so you can be heard. Speak so you can be. And then stop speaking because the self you've been narrating was never the full story. The truth is not what you say. It's what remains when you stop saying and what remains. Interesting. Stillness, fire, light, the beloved, the beloved. This is the final teacher. Not the poem, not the metaphor, but the quiet that follows. The place where even longing dissolves, where nothing is missing, where you are not the seeker, you are not even the finder, you are what always was. You are what cannot be named. And in that moment of stillness, you finally hear the beloved say, "Welcome home." The journey does not end in silence, it begins there. Because for Rumi, arrival was never a stopping point, it was a turning, a whirl, a return. The soul, once it remembers its source, doesn't rest. It spins not in confusion, but in celebration, not to escape the world, but to embody it more fully. Not choreography, not performance, but a cosmic gesture to become so empty that only love moves you, he said. Why do you stay in prison when the door is so wide open? That door is not somewhere else. It is this moment, this breath, this remembering that the divine is not an idea or a location. It is the pulse moving through all things. And once you feel that, you cannot go back to sleep. You whirl not in circles of doubt, but in orbits of devotion. This is why the dervish spins. One hand open to the sky to receive, one hand lowered to the earth to give, heart at the center, feet moving, body vanishing, soul ablaze. It is not a symbol, it is the reality of embodied. God within, God without. Self emptied, love eternal. He wrote with life as short as a half taken breath. Don't plant anything but love. That is the final instruction. That whatever time we're given, days or decades, must be spent turning toward what is real, not clinging to fear or status or control, not wasting energy on what separates, divides, distracts, but becoming a space through which the beloved can speak. To live To live like this is not easy. It means breaking, melting, losing the identity you spent years constructing. It means loving with no guarantee of return. It means seeing beauty where the world sees nothing. It means seeing beauty where the world sees nothing. But for Rumi, this was not sacrifice. This was freedom. This was life. He did not ask us to become like him. He asked us to become ourselves fully, fearlessly. Finally, he said, "You were born with wings. Why crawl through life? You were born with wings. Why crawl through life?" Say it one more time because the thing came up. You were born with wings. Why crawl through life? That's not poetry, that's a mirror. That's a call to remember what you already are. Not this name, this story, this weight, but light, free, eternal, and rooted in love. And so we end not with conclusion, but with an opening. This poem is not over. The fire still burns. The divine is still calling. Wherever you are, in doubt or clarity, in grief or joy, in stillness or motion, the door is open, the music is playing, the world has already begun. Close your eyes, let go, fall into it, and stay there. Thank you, Spirit, for bringing me to that read. I'm telling you, the divine source, God, all the powers that be knows exactly what we need when we need it. Everything you need to know, you will know when you need to know it. I dreamt with the dream that I had before when I took my nap just now, before I came on live. The dream when I saw my cousin, when I said you're going to see somebody you haven't seen in a long while, but he was visiting a person in prison. And to think about what I just read, right? What did Rumi say? You're not in a prison. Why are you in a prison? The door is open. Like, why are you? And what's interesting in the dream was a lot of orange, orange, the color orange. Um, my cousin had on a fancy suit. I'm telling you, he was to the T. Okay, it was like but orange, a nice orange, shaved, clean cut, suit was fly. Okay, and then the inmate who he was visiting had on an orange suit. What is orange? Create, go out and create from what? Love. That's what we just read, right? Get out of that fucking prison. Go create out of love. That's why we're here. That's how I got here. Creating out of love. That's how I got here. Seriously. Knowledge uprising. Hi, Ray Ray, Tyler. Shout out to everybody. Arsenio. Joy comes in the morning. Mehmet. Devon. We've been talking. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that Rumi read. That's Thursday's thoughts. I'm definitely gonna listen to that over again, for sure. For sure. The light is in you. You are the divine. What you're seeking is seeking you. That was beautiful. Well, guys, we've been chilling here long enough. It was fun. 14730. Wow. Wow. Love. Love is the answer. Love is the answer all the time. It's law. It's law. Once we live in that law, I need to add this to the Truth Seeker playlist. So I started a playlist called Truth Seekers. What I was just reading, it's in that playlist. So you can go to the playlist, Truth Seeker, and it's a whole bunch of great knowledge for our brains so we can remember the fuck we are. Wake us up here, right? Okay. Just gotta let those words sink in for a second. I gotta charge my phone. Oh dear. That was beautiful. That was such a beautiful read. Just makes me feel good inside for some reason. Feels good reading that. Makes me feel like I gotta come here every day and read Rumi at least once a day with you guys. Every day we should read Rumi. Rumi's reads. The divine is in everything. It's in the stillness, it's in the aches, it's in the huh. That was such a beautiful read. I'm telling you, you really have to let the words sink in, you know? Let it really sink into your soul. It's beautiful. Okay, guys, I'm out of here. Have a great day. Stay magical, because you are. Remember, source is in you. Oh, wow. Before I even started reading, I said, awaken the Buddha within, the source energy within. And look at where spirit led me to Rumi, surrender to the fire, because we are the whole blaze. Let love wash away everything that's false, and only truth shall remain. That's the power of love. That's what I got from that read. I'm just sharing my thoughts on what I got from reading that. Let love in, let it shatter away everything that is fucking false, and let only truth remain. You are not a name. You are not weight. You are not the story you constructed. You are source energy. You are everything. The same power, energy that created these galaxies created our heartbeats. That's what gives us breath every day. Imagine that. Let that sink in. How dope we are. How awesome we are. How powerful we are. And the power of what love can do. And where is love? It's inside us. Beautiful. I still don't know what I'm going to eat for dinner. Lord, help me. I'm going to dwindle away. Never. I eat a lot. Okay. I'm going to go figure out something. Something. I hope you guys enjoyed that Thursday's Thoughts. I gotta change the title to Thursday's Thoughts. Remember, what I was reading, you'll find it in the Truth Seeker playlist. Yeah? Yeah. I'm staring at these trees. You should go stare at the trees.